Hello everybody, this is Fronita Bobbin here coming at you from a different angle today because I'm tired. It's been a long day and I'm finally making this race for you. Today I'm going to be talking about the Camping World 500 as it's known now at Phoenix. I don't need to get into the Xfinity race because I did so yesterday, and boy, today's Cup race made up for the devastation that happened yesterday, because yesterday, well, if you want to know the devastation that happened yesterday, you can watch the race review of the DC Solar 200, I think it was called, the Xfinity race. And today's Cup race really made up for it because Ryan Newman wins for the first time in God knows how long. Oh my goodness, it's been so long since Ryan Newman won a race in the Cup Series. In fact, any series at all. In fact, Ryan Newman, the last time that he won a race was back in 2013, which was 4 or 5-ish years ago. I don't even know, and I don't care because it's been so long that Ryan Newman has won a race. And finally, he does it. RCR is sort of coming back alive as a result of this race because it's been oh so long since the last time that Ryan Newman has won a race. And finally, it's happened. In fact, one of my predictions for this year was for Ryan Newman to break his winless streak along with Clint Boyer, and Ryan Newman has now finally broken his winless streak for the first time in what feels like a million years. Now Clint Boyer just needs to break his winless streak this year, and I'll be satisfied. I mean, yeah, I know that Clint Boyer drives for Stewart Haas now, but I mean, if we're talking about Clint Boyer, who really cares? I mean, Clint Boyer, he hasn't won a race since 2013 either, I believe. So yeah, hopefully that happens this year. Now Ryan Newman, yeah, after the devastation that happened yesterday, I am so happy that Ryan Newman has won this race. So now that prediction is halfway complete of drivers who have been in NASCAR for a long time and have a winless streak that's been going on for several years now. So I'm very happy for Ryan Newman. I'm very glad that he finally broke his winless streak. Now Austin Dillon needs to get a win this year so he can help out RCR even more. I don't know what the chances are of Austin Dillon winning this year, but I hope he can. I hope that Austin Dillon can win at least one win this year, at least one, just one, and it'll satisfy me. I mean, I really want to see the number 3 go back to victory lane, because that number 3 car hasn't been to victory lane ever since Dale Earnhardt took the 3 car to victory lane in 2000, I think. Obviously, he won the Daytona 500, and he probably won a race after that in the year 2000, I believe it was. Yeah, anyway, so glad that Ryan Newman has won this race. So, without further ado, let's talk about what actually happened in the dang race. Well, so first off, I want to tell you that my pick to win this race was Kyle Larson. He almost won this race. He almost won it. But stuff happened in the race, and I'll get to that, obviously. So stage 1 was, well, the first 20 laps of stage 1 was interesting, but after that it was basically just drive to the end, and Joey Logano won stage number 1, which is, you know, a thing. And then stage number 2, what happened to stage 2? Well, Joey Logano, he got the penalty, actually. Joey Logano did get a penalty in this race. I can't remember when it was, whether it be stage 2 or stage 3. But who cares? I mean, he got the penalty, and then he eventually blew a tire later in this race. Also, underfunded drivers were having their own little rivalry with it, which is interesting. I mean, I think one of the drivers was paying back another driver after not letting this one driver race in the Daytona 500, which is interesting. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. Who knew that these underfunded guys would have a little rivalry of their own? Interesting. But we don't care about the underfunded guys, or do we? Well, maybe Matt DiBenedetto, but that's about it. I mean, Matt DiBello and David Reagan. Those are really the only underfunded guys that we care about. All the other ones are just a bunch of nobodies. Oh yeah, I kind of care about Reed Sorensen, but kind of not really. I mean, Reed Sorensen did drive the Donald Trump Pence car in Texas in 2016. You know, the fall Texas race. Honestly, I really don't. I really shouldn't really root for Reed Sorensen because he's at Premium Motorsports, which is one of the worst teams in NASCAR, probably the worst. So yeah, but honestly, if the Trump Pence guys, the Donald Trump was looking to sponsor a guy in NASCAR for a race, I would take that sponsorship. I would, because you know me, what? I'm a Republican and I support Donald Trump. No one likes a Democrat, not me. Anyways, back to the race. Um, yeah, so stage one, then stage two was meh. I honestly don't remember what happened in stage number two. Um, so who cares? Then stage three. Stuff happened in stage three. Kyle Larson, I think he won the race off of pit road at one point. And then Kyle Busch just pulled away and led for the majority of the race until lap 8, or with 8 laps to go. Joey Logano blew a tire, taking him out of the race. And I guess we had a Greenway checkered finish where I thought that Kyle Larson was going to be starting on the pole on the restart, but I guess Ryan Newman and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. didn't pit, and so they were right there up front. And so Ryan Newman was able to basically pull away to get the victory. Yeah. So Kyle Larson comes second for the third one in the row. He's now the points leader, which is interesting. Let's see how long he can keep that points lead. I really don't know how well Kyle Larson can do at Auto Club, but we'll find out. Yeah, Stewart-Haas guys. I think now it's time for the Stewart-Haas rant of the week. That's officially a thing now. Well, not really a rant. Well, yeah, let's say rant. Yeah, that's a thing now. Stewart-Haas rant of the week. Mainly Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch, because they're basically the only Stewart-Haas. Why did I say that? They're basically the main Stewart-Haas racing drivers that have a good chance of winning. I mean, Clint Boyer, I hope that he can win a race this year, and I'm sure he will. And Danica Patrick, I really don't know about Danica Patrick. I kind of want to see Danica Patrick get a win this year, but kind of not really, since she's driving a Ford now. I really hope that Stewart-Haas Racing eventually goes back to Chevy, because if they stay with Ford forever, then I really don't know what to do anymore. But anyway, so yeah. I got an interesting YouTube comment on last week's review of the Las Vegas race. One of my top fans, CC142 said, Stewart-Haas Racing, they don't manufacture the tires or batteries or Danica Patrick's. I think that's what he said anyways. Well, of course, I mean, because last week I did say that Stewart-Haas Racing, one guy had a battery problem, and the other had a blown tire. And I said, that's what they get for going to Stewart-Haas Racing. And then JC142 basically leaves a comment saying that Ford doesn't manufacture. I can't seem to speak this week. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's been a long day, guys, so give me a break. So yeah. Because, someone had a battery problem and the other had a blown tire. Obviously, Ford doesn't manufacture the tires nor the battery, but basically what I mean by Stewart-Haas going to Ford, well, basically karma played a part in what happened in Las Vegas to the Stewart-Haas drivers, because, Stewart-Haas Racing is now a Ford team, unfortunately. And so I basically was saying that karma was basically playing a part in that, and that's why one guy had a battery problem and the other had a blown tire. So, I just hope that Kevin Harvick and Kurt Busch don't do too much up front this year. I mean, if Kevin Harvick or Kurt Busch get a stage win, I'm fine with that. But if they get a race win, that's when I'm going to begin to complain. But overall, that's my Stewart-Haas Racing rant of the week. It's officially a thing now, and it's probably going to be continuing. It's probably going to continue to be a thing until Stewart-Haas Racing goes back to Chevy, or maybe over to Toyota. But you know, I question if that's gonna happen or not. Anyways, that's pretty much everything that I have to talk about this week. Overall, I'm very glad that Ryan Newman was able to finally break his winless streak after several years, basically since 2013, I believe. Now Clint Boyer just needs to do that, and that will satisfy me. So, oh yeah, another thing that I need to talk about is the Joey Logano versus Kyle Busch rivalry. Joey Logano and Kyle Busch did eventually get with each other, in the race, but Kyle Busch he didn't do anything with Logano at all in this race. I mean, they did get together. Basically, what happened was that Logano basically gave room to Kyle Busch, and then Kyle Busch just drove by without even caring about Logano, which is fine, I guess. But at the same time, it kind of ruins my prediction of Joey Logano getting into a rivalry with another driver. If some kind of rivalry does play out between Kyle Busch and Logano during the chase, then maybe that will deem my prediction correct. But my rivalry between Joey Logano and some other driver, that prediction that I made, hasn't been deemed correct just yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We'll find out. Other than that, because I was expecting Kyle Busch to purposely wreck Joey Logano in this race. That did not happen. Maybe it will, but really, we don't know. What else did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, Daddy. And my daddy, he watched the replay between the incident at Las Vegas between Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. And Daddy said that basically Logano, he got loose, but it wasn't really Logano's fault. It was kind of Kyle Busch's fault for coming down on Joey Logano. And that's actually all I have to say. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're almost at 650 subscribers, which is interesting. And don't worry, I will soon be getting my iPad Air back. I don't know when, but for those of you who are wondering, I will soon be getting my iPad Air back. So sit tight, and I'll let you know of what might happen. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one.